Hello and welcome to the 9th episode of Splat in the Honolulu Blues. I am your host, Antonio Pop, and today we'll be talking NBA and college basketball. First off, I want to introduce my co-host and good friend, Matt Pelage. Matt, how you doing today?
Pop, I'm doing great, and I'm excited to talk about some hoops.
Same here. And I also want to introduce my other guest, Joseph Davies. Joseph, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm just still a little shocked about the recruiting from Michigan, but it's all going good still.
Yeah, let's actually jump right into that. What are you guys' thoughts on Josh Christopher and Isaiah Todd turning the Michigan offer down?
So, as you can see, I'm rocking my Michigan State hat today, and I do that as a very happy future Spartan student because Michigan State lost out on 1 to 2 years of absolute tear by Josh Christopher and Isaiah Todd. Those dudes can ball. They can play. They can do a lot on the court. And now Michigan doesn't have them. And I mean, State's odds of winning the Big Ten just went way up for next year.
I mean, I think Michigan State's odds went up a little bit, but not way up.
Like now with Todd and Christopher gone.
Oh yeah, 100%. But
it was kind of game over. Honestly, I thought when I saw that recruiting class for Michigan, I'm like, they're winning the Big Ten easily next year. They're gonna steamroll.
But we still have a solid recruiting class. I mean, it's still, even without
definitely.
those two, it's still above. It's still leading the Big Ten. Via 24/7 Sports.
You can't. Still, the fact of the matter is, Christopher and Todd are better than any recruit that you have gotten or anybody.
100%.
Like, I mean, State. They're gonna lose Cassius, but they're gonna have Sissoko coming in, the recruit. He's going to take over Tillman's role. And then you're going to have Hauser coming in, who was a high recruit a couple of years ago. He went to Marquette, and now he's transferring to Michigan State. He's going to be a big party. That's going to be a really nice 4 and 5 combo. But recruiting-wise, I think Michigan had the best in the Big Ten. But losing Todd and Christopher are just two monumental losses that nobody saw coming.
Yeah, especially since they were, they committed so early. Joseph, what are your thoughts on the situation?
Well, Christopher was never committed, but ever since Juwan was hired, Juwan just went after him. And it seemed like a lock that he was coming to Michigan.
Yeah.
Then, like, the weeks up to it, you kind of heard stuff like, oh, he may want to stay home and kind of play with his brother, make it easier on his family at Arizona State.
Mm-hmm.
So I was shocked, but I guess if that's a university, if he was going to go somewhere else, that's where I expected him to go. But Isaiah Todd, I was just shocked because when he originally committed, there was, like, some rumors about him maybe going overseas to try to get a deal for a year. But then, like, as it got closer and closer, he kept on saying, oh, I'm coming to Michigan for sure. I'm definitely going there next year.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just shocked me, like, once Christopher, like, said he's going to Arizona State, the very next day he says, oh, I'm going to go pro.
Now,
that's just like a bombshell to me. I was just shocked.
Now, how many years do you think it'll take Isaiah Todd to get to the NBA?
One
year? 1 year? Okay. Okay.
Where is he going professionally? Is that the G League or?
He's going to the same team as Jalen Green in the G League.
Yeah. Honestly, my thoughts on it. If I was their big recruit, I wouldn't do that. I mean, you look at the college basketball atmosphere; it is so awesome. I'd rather play in that and get some of the best coaching in the country at the collegiate level than play in some rec league gym with a bunch of guys who can't make it to the NBA. I mean, that's my personal opinion, but I mean, I understand what they're doing.
Here's the thing that we kind of covered last time with Mr. Fishman on how, especially in the NBA, if you're not the best athlete or the best basketball player in the room, especially during the draft, it's hard to make it. And I think what Isaiah's missing out on is an education. And I think that's one of the most important things that, Josh will get is the education, but Isaiah's just going straight to the professionals. And I think that's a key thing because then you become smarter as a basketball player, but you lose some of the common sense you kind of gain and business world sense you can gain in college. Speaking of college as a whole, who do you think has the best recruiting class in the country?
That's easy for me. Kentucky. I mean, you look at those recruits; they are so stacked. I mean, you've got Terrence Clark, 4th in the country. You got B.J. Boston out of Sierra Canyon, represent Brenny. Devin Askew, and then our very own Isaiah Jackson from Waterford Mott High School. I mean, none of that. They got a few 4-stars. I mean, they have got. I mean, I can count it right here: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 top 50 recruits, along with Obi Toppin's brother transferring in, and then another 3-star transfer. I mean, they are really doing well with the recruiting, and I think that team is going to be really good next year. They're going to be very hard to stop.
Now, do you think it's an easy, especially for Kentucky, you think they'll win the championship or no? Do you think it's because they have such a good recruiting class, do you think these freshmen can come in and make a huge difference come March Madness next year?
So I think over the past 3 years, it's been proven that like big time recruit freshmen, they can show up, though sometimes the upperclassmen, because of their experience, tend to sometimes elevate their game a little bit more. But I think, it's a little too early to make a prediction like that because we haven't really seen the teams like play yet. Maybe once we get closer to the season starting, I can make a prediction. But right now, it's kind of up in the air. I think Oklahoma, another team that had a really good, kind of an under the radar class, is Oklahoma State with, obviously top recruit coming in, Cunningham, and then they also kind of put some other decent recruits around him too. So that's kind of my, I guess, under the radar. But overall, number one, Kentucky, no doubt, and that's just so unsurprising to every college basketball fan ever.
Yeah, Joseph, what do you think?
I'd have to say Kentucky easily, and Calipari consistently does this. He gets players to buy in, like, you can come here, you can go one and done, and then you can succeed in the NBA.
Yeah.
And he's had some teams that people think if you put them together right now in the NBA, they could make the playoffs easily. He's had Anthony Davis, Karl Anthony Towns. He had Devin Booker coming off the bench on one of his teams.
Yeah, I remember
he just
that.
gets talent so easily, and he makes them win too.
Now, the big question is, who do you think is going to, if you could judge it right now, who do you say is going to win the national championship next year? Who looks coming into the 2021 season, who do you think is going to be the team that everyone's like the number one the entire year?
Kentucky's going to start out number one, no doubt.
Yeah.
With their recruiting class. I think Duke's obviously going to be high because they always are. And they had a really good class too. My big sleeper, it's kind of a homer pick, but State's a big sleeper, and a lot of people are gonna. Yeah, no, get ready for this, Pop. I understand they lost Cassius, but you've got Sissoko and Hauser coming in, and then maybe if Josh Langford comes back, this team is going to be scary.
Yeah.
Don't know if it's going to happen. It probably won't, but if it does, holy cow! Because then you'd have a solid 3. You'd have because I think they're going to push Rocket to the 1 because Cassius is out, but you'd have Henry, who's decent. The 3 is kind of an open spot. I mean, you can put Hall, you can put Brown. We don't really know who's going to go there yet. But the 4 and 5, if you got Hauser and Sissoko, if you could put Langford in that 3 and have Brown and Hall come off the bench, and then we just got another 4-star point guard, and Foster Lawyer lives in my neighborhood, and went to high school. Yes. So as much as I want to like him, I don't. It's very hard to watch him on the floor because he is a turnover machine and is too small. And so because of that, number one, he probably will not be coming on our podcast now because I said that. And number 2,
come on, man. Come on.
We need depth. We need depth at that point guard position. And I think State's a big sleeper for me. But Kentucky is going to be the consensus one.
I have to agree with Kentucky. I think the University of Michigan, actually. I feel like people are counting out this team because they lost those 2 big players. We still have a very good recruiting class. Our recruiting class is rated 8th overall in the country. We have 4 commits right now. They're both all of them are 4 stars. But I feel like just the way that Juwan Howard has taken this team, and losing Beeline was a big loss. Everyone thought, we're going to suck for a few years until we until Howard gets his bearings and is able to recruit. This guy was able to bring in quality talent from the get-go. And what he did with the team last year wasn't stellar, but it was good enough where I was like, okay, I like this guy. He's done a good enough job where I can say this year that he can make a run in the in March Madness. Joseph, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I like Juwan as a coach. I think he fits what's going on in college basketball right now. They want a player's coach who's kind of like flashy. He goes out there to get the recruits,
Mm-hmm.
and he fits that model. I remember when we hired him, I thought it could be like a Penny Hardaway type hire when he could relate to the players like he is at Memphis and get the
Yeah.
good recruits, and it's working like that so far.
Now, do you think he's flashy enough to climb trees like Jim Harbaugh does for recruits, or
Nobody is mentally insane like Jim Harbaugh to do something as weird as that.
I mean, he gets recruits and he produces, so I mean, you can't really
Discussion for another day.
bash him. Indeed. So, moving on to the NBA. Now, this is a question that everyone argues. Who is the greatest scorer in NBA history?
I'm going to let Joseph go ahead and go first with this one.
Okay, so earlier this season, I want to say the Rockets owner came out and said that James Harden is. I don't agree with that at all. I'd have to say maybe Kevin Durant. With his size, his speed, and his shooting ability, he's probably one of the most, like, he can drive easily. He's good at dribbling. He can dribble like a guard. He can shoot really good. I just say Kevin Durant is. He's the most unique scorer I think we've ever seen.
Yeah, I could definitely buy that. My personal opinion, and this is where I wish Kyle was on because I would once again beat him in another LeBron versus MJ debate. Michael Jordan was the greatest scorer of all time, and statistically, it's going to be Wilt Chamberlain, but he played in like the 1800s where nobody else could jump more than a foot. So, but Michael Jordan is just, he could do everything so well. He could drive, he could shoot, he could just drop the dagger out of nowhere. He was an assassin from the 3-point line, and he could just score. He could shoot so well from mid-range, drove so well, put up just unheard of scoring numbers. I mean, I think one season he was near 37 or might have been at 37 points a game, which during that defensive era is almost unbelievable. It's almost like divine or something. I mean, it's ridiculous. So I think for me, I like Kevin Durant. I would agree that Kevin Durant is probably the most unique scorer ever. I'd probably say MJ's the best. What about you, Pop?
Now, you're going to hate me for this, Matt, but no one has mentioned the king, LeBron James. You said Kevin Durant because he's the most unique player. I disagree with that. LeBron is built like a linebacker with the athleticism of a point guard. You do not see that. And people have regularly compared him to a freight train. I mean, this guy is 6'9" and 250. Like, he looks like a NFL middle linebacker. And he just played a number of seasons where he scored 25-plus points per game. Not many people in the NBA can say that, let alone, give kudos to Kevin Durant. He's done that. But I just feel like LeBron is just a lot more clutch, and he has a different, a different way of looking at situations where he can put the ball in the hoop, where I think Kevin Durant would be more likely to pass a ball in a clutch situation. I just feel like that. I feel like LeBron is just a little more gritty than Kevin Durant. And the size difference, Kevin Durant is a lot skinnier and maybe a little taller than – is he taller than LeBron?
Yeah,
2 inches.
like
He's
inches.
2 inches taller, but he's a little skinnier. I mean, you look at, Kevin Durant is built for basketball. He's skinnier, he's lighter, he can jump. But it looks like from analyzing LeBron's career, he's more like a linebacker. You know what I mean? He would be a good tight end in the NFL. And I feel like, he's just an athletic freak, and I think that's what gives him the edge. Now, compared to Jordan, I think Jordan's still, God when it comes to this. But I just have to say LeBron because just the size of, how tall and how heavy he is, and just he has the athleticism of a point guard. It's unbelievable that he can do that, and he can score the ball at will. That's my thoughts.
It's a good point. So we're going to move on to something we're before, last couple of minutes we've been talking about greatness. Now we're going to be talking about the opposite of greatness.
Oh, my God.
Horse games that are being played on ESPN. Now, listen, I get it. it's tough because this whole coronavirus thing, but for just a message to the people who are playing, please get your audio and visual quality better. I feel like I'm watching something from 2003 going
It,
down.
it's bad.
And it's like a lot of the
It's
shots are just so like simple. It's just so much. It's
Yeah,
just so like underwhelmingly.
I mean,
I thought it was gonna be so
your
fun, and it's
your
not.
your NBA players. I want to see crazy shots. I
Yeah.
want to see like behind the back stuff, no look, Jordan style at the free throw line. I want to see like show me what you can do because
Yeah.
like. And I thought the most entertaining thing that ESPN's put out so far has to be the 2K tournaments. I like the trash talking by the players. I thought that was really
Yeah.
cool how they could
That,
like
that went better than I thought it would.
it,
I,
it
yeah.
that
I
went,
thought the
I thought
horse
it was gonna
games would be
suck.
better
Yeah.
than that, but it actually was the worst content they put out overall. What do you think is the best thing ESPN has put out during the coronavirus?
They're trying to make it look good. You've got the analysts like, and a huge shot coming up. It's HOR to H, and it's like they're like casually. It's like, all right, Mike Conley is gonna shoot a free throw. It's like, wow, well, how exciting is that? Like
Yeah,
it's
you
just, it's ridiculous. I
Joseph,
think that, no, go ahead, Joseph.
what do you
Trae
think?
Young, the best shooter, one of the best shooters in the league. He just goes to the line like 4 times in a row, just shoots it left-handed. It's like we want to see it 10 feet behind the three-point
Shoot
line.
it from the freaking parking lot. Shoot it from outside or something.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to put up good content, especially during the coronavirus, but
Yeah, we still do it.
we still do it. I mean, it
Yeah.
works. But, you know,
Okay.
I think it's more on the players, less on ESPN. Maybe ESPN should say to the players,
Yeah.
you know, do crazier shots. Anyway, going from absolute crap to greatness again. Are you guys excited to see the Last Dance documentary this Sunday?
Oh, it's gonna be awesome. I am so pumped up to see it.
Joseph, what do you think about that?
I'm excited, but I'm kind of like curious because Jordan's kind of got defensive as it's coming out. He's like, oh, people are gonna think I'm a terrible person after this comes out. So I want to see how hard he worked during it.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. He's kind of a little bit on defense mode, but I think it's gonna be unlike almost anything we've seen because all that drama that was going on with that team, and you're so close to everything with all that, and now they're finally coming out with it. Like it's just gonna be really cool, and you get to see kind of inside all that thing with a lot of huge personalities. I mean, you got Jordan, Pippen, Rodman on that team. I mean,
Yeah.
that's gonna be a fun show. I mean, Dennis Rodman, you look at him now. I mean, if he was anything like I'm hoping he was as a player inside that locker room, it's going to be a very fun show. It would be a fun show with just him alone.
You know, I would have to agree with you both. This is actually one of the things I'm looking forward to coming up. This and the NFL draft. But, you know, I think it's almost appropriate that this was put, you know, out when it is. It was, you know, by luck. But it's like nice to see that they're still releasing things that are interesting, even though the ESPN isn't putting out the best content. I feel like this is going to be a breath of fresh air for people because it's reliving the glory days of basketball, the Bulls. You see the chemistry and the team, and then the drama too. I feel like this is gonna be a very good documentary. I think one of the best documentaries ESPN's put out.
Did you guys see that thing that Shaq said about the Lakers beating the Bulls?
Oh yeah, that he could have took the Bulls big man any day of the week.
Oh yeah, Luke.
Yeah.
I agree with him. Luke Longley
Yeah.
wouldn't stand a chance against Shaq, but I just, Kobe Bryant is great of an offensive player. He is. Rest in peace, Mamba. I just guarding Jordan would.
Oh no.
So hard.
I see that as a really good matchup. I see that better than.
Oh, I do.
I see that. Wait, do you guys see? Okay, if you're gonna compare Jordan
it's a game,
and James, you think it's more interesting if you put Kobe against Jordan?
Kobe,
Like,
I
would you?
wouldn't say he is as great as LeBron is. I think LeBron is just Kobe offensively as a shooter and making insane clutch plays is probably better than LeBron, but just pretty much on every other aspect, like passing, rebounding, defense. And Kobe's won more rings, but I'd say LeBron's still better than Kobe. But I think you look at that Bulls Lakers matchup. Shaq would own Longley, but I mean, after that, did they? That was it though. They didn't have much else besides Shaq and Kobe on that team. I don't think. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It'd be an interesting one. I might take Bulls in 7 in that one. What would you guys think?
I would take Bulls in 7. Yeah.
I'd say Bulls in 6. I don't think Shaq could carry him to too many.
Really?
Yeah. I think it's just I think that the X factor isn't going to be MJ beating Kobe or Kobe beating MJ. It's just going to be Rodman and Pippen going up against God, was it? I don't even remember who it was for the Lakers. And then at the point, what's the point for the Bulls? I don't remember, but either way, I think the Bulls would have it, but it'd be tight because Shaq would absolutely run over Luke Longley like a train. I mean, he wouldn't stand a chance against Shaq, but it'd be crazy.
Yeah, indeed. Well, I want to thank you guys for coming, and I look forward to talking more basketball with you in the future. On heads up, next Thursday, me and Matt and Billy are going live to Twitter on our own Twitter account. The link is posted in our description of the channel, or our username is posted in the description of our channel. We're going live to Twitter at 7 o'clock. We are taking live calls on the show to discuss your Detroit Lions and, more importantly, the NFL draft. Tune in at 7 o'clock on our Twitter page to see us live, to do pre-draft analysis and live reactions to your Lions drafting or trading away the pick. Anyways, I hope everyone out there stays healthy.
Wait. Before we end, we have to make a note of this. Pop, what is on your head?
I mean, it's snowing outside. It feels like Christmas. I mean, it just feels like Christmas, man. I mean, it's ridiculous.
I almost didn't say anything, but I couldn't hold off till the end.
I know.
Okay. My Lord.
Okay. Hey, I hope everyone out there stays healthy.
And stays classy. Thank you.